On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, we talk about our games of the year. And that's pretty much it. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing.
Christmas is over.
Sadly.
The gifts have been unwrapped. My Christmas tree has been yeeted across my back fence. It's over. Christmas is done.
That's cool.
So, there you go.
I was trying to keep up your young hip slang there.
We took all the Christmas decorations down today, the day after Christmas, and I walked my tree out the front door to the backyard and threw it, literally threw it across the back fence into the backyard.
It's like a lance. You just right into the other neighbor's yard, across the alley.
Right after that, I saw a car drive by, so I'm pretty sure they saw a flying Christmas tree and are wondering what the heck was going on.
They know where you live now. They threw a tree at my car.
That Christmas tree will be chopped up and burned in a brand new fire pit, so it's going to get a good Viking burial.
Viking burial of a tree.
Viking burial of a tree. If I don't have a boat though, so it won't be a perfect Viking ceremony.
It's made of wood. But it's already a boat.
That's true. It can be its own boat.
Trees love water.
They don't love fire, though. So...
how else are you going to have the Viking funeral?
Well, that's true. That's true. This tree will give us a couple of weeks of good fire in the backyard. So... there you go. But we're not alone.
Just the tree in the backyard burning for weeks.
I'll just light the whole tree on fire, have a little bonfire. We're not alone this week, Ethan. We have somebody.
We have like the spirits of Christmas past or something?
Yes. Ebenezer Scrooge is here joining us on the podcast this week. No, I think making his podcast debut. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's his debut. We've got Cole.
Hey,
what's going on?
Expecting me or not? I'm here. How's it going?
What a great time for your internet to start messing up.
Flying trees.
So yes, many people have heard Cole's voice for weeks and weeks on our Wednesday night streams and on his own streaming channel. But I think this is your podcast debut, isn't it?
Yeah. I've never long-time listener, first-time talker.
So you get to debut on the most unorthodox episode of the year, because pretty much all we're going to do is talk about a couple of games and then do our game of the year lists. So
that's a good start for me.
So there you go. But what is there a game that you have been playing over the last week or so that you'd like to talk about? Or has it been just like Ethan, it's just been Destiny?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, the one game that's been keeping me away from Destiny is Sea of Thieves, and even though they've had some Christmas stuff going on there, I still haven't touched it thanks to all these dawning updates on Destiny. So
I've pretty much missed all of the holiday event going on in Sea of Thieves. So I booted it up long enough to see that there was some like Christmassy decorations in the pubs, and that was it.
So, yeah, I would have run at least once while they were doing that, where you let other people turn in your chests and you get rewarded for it, but it'll probably still be going on.
So, but what's been going on in Destiny then?
Currently it's the Dawning. So they have this Christmas event every year, and you just make a bunch of cookies for the vendors and throughout the system, and you do certain events just to get these gifts, and most of them are they're kind of what you expect. And Christmas, it's not going to be the most exciting thing, but you appreciate that they gave it to you, and so a lot of that, and it's a little lackluster, but it's a good seasonal thing, and it keeps the game alive and gets the community together. So it's pretty nice.
I know the last time I booted up Destiny, I'm pretty sure the first thing that happened was I got pelted in the face by a snowball.
That yeah, yeah. The snowballs are all over the tower. So whether you're playing with friends or you're just logging in by yourself, you're gonna get hit with a snowball, and it's gonna slow you down, and uh, it's just something that happens.
So, yeah, I think the last 2 weeks I've played more Destiny than I've played probably in most of the last year.
True.
Because
Yeah. A
it,
lot.
if the Wednesday streams, they mess up, we have reverted to Destiny the last couple of weeks. So for the last couple of weeks, even I have been playing Destiny.
It's rare, but I mean, there's stuff we can do with 4 people. I mean, you Gambit, that's the thing. And get 2 more, that's a raid.
Really pushing for that raid, aren't you?
I want that raid to happen. I mean, we got to get a raid in before Vault.
If we had
2021.
enough people to like in the clan or friends where we're not pulling randos in, I'm all for that. But I just don't like pulling in randos.
Well, I think they're supposed to be talking about play coming next year as well. I don't know if that's before Vault of Glass or not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do remember hearing something about crossplay. So I would really like it to happen because I prefer to play Destiny when I'm playing on the PC.
Mm.
I've gotten the few times I've played Destiny, it's been on the before the
He's
last
gonna play
couple of
on
weeks.
Stadia and join us.
If I had
Oh
all
gosh.
of the stuff, I could play on Stadia, but the Stadia version is the base game, and I do not have any of the content. That's also part of the reason I've been playing on the Xbox as well, is because with the Xbox, you get everything for free through Game Pass,
Good.
which none of the other versions of the game have. So that way, even though I'm way behind you guys, I can still access some of the stuff that maybe I wouldn't be able to if I was playing on a different version of the game.
Yeah, I'm through some of the new light stuff on there myself, which you have to reclaim the missions if you've already played the game. But it's kind of interesting to see how the story is shaped and everything. A new player perspective when in the game they've already sunset all planets, so it's like okay, well, what are they going to do for this part of the story since this doesn't exist anymore? Are they just gonna log it in like one of the strikes, or just it's not part of the storyline anymore?
Earth,
Yeah.
Moon, Europa, Nessus, and then we have Dreaming City, which isn't actually real, and then there's Tangled Shore, which is like a collection of land masses.
Yeah, and that's all
Yeah,
they're
we
saying.
have lost planets. All right.
I think one of the things that I've felt playing Destiny the last few weeks is that I'm so far behind you guys that I feel like I'm just holding you back. Like there's all this stuff that you could be doing, but because I haven't done anything in the game, we have to do all that stuff to try to catch me up, and it would take months to get me caught up to where you guys are.
So a lot of what they've done is they've raised the light level. So your power, you're starting at 1050, which is high enough to do strikes, high enough to do the dungeon that actually rewards powerful, and to start the newest campaign. So it's yeah, you're behind, and there's a lot of stuff we have that you won't have because we have like the thing in Destiny is it's a big grind, and
Mhm.
so since you're behind in the grind, you're not going to have all the best weapons or whatever and stuff, but you can still jump into these activities and get this in game gear with us, and I think still have a pretty good experience. They have like all the raids you missed out that they have the exotics and stuff that are really good or whatever, you still have a chance to get them. You just have to grind a lot to get that those exotics. Like
Yeah.
Ethan's going through trying to get some of that. Stuart's going through trying to get some of that. But
Yeah.
it's a try towards.
Maybe if Destiny 3 comes out, you can keep me close to
when
you
you can
guys.
be on a more even level playing field
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
Technically, this expansion was your chance for that.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
suppose
this
in a way it was.
expansion is Destiny 2 Year 4, which was the first for the Destinies. It's like this should be Destiny 3, but they've decided to just continue to add on to it. I mean, if you if you download Destiny 2, you pretty much are saying I need a full day time and my own external hard drive to download games.
Oh yeah, the game's ridiculously large. And I actually really like that we're seeing that type of thing where we're not getting, every year or so a brand new game. It's just like we're just going to keep adding to this game and keep this game alive and keep updating it. Um, there are some games that I think would really benefit from that, like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart, stuff like that, where you don't necessarily need a brand new game, just build on top of what's already there.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So, well, is that it for Destiny? Is there anything else you'd
Not
want to
really.
talk about?
I got to take Ethan and Stuart through the newest raid, and I think they enjoyed that. I enjoyed taking them through it. It's been a while since I've raided.
I
with
still
them.
have no idea what
And,
we did to finish that.
Yeah, we beat the raid, and we leave, and Ethan's like, "Yeah, I did nothing that last battle. I have no idea what we're supposed to do. I just kind of was running around."
When they said shoot at the boss, I was like, okay, I'll shoot at that, I guess.
Yeah, it's complicated enough that you could be one of the people in the background just doing damage and still be fine.
That's kind of how I've felt the last couple of weeks, Ethan. I'm like, you guys are like, do all this stuff. I'm like, okay, um, I'll shoot at that guy, but he's going to kill me 14 times.
Yeah.
The our scaling does that. I think that's what some of the things that some people don't like about it is that like when you start off so much stronger than you that it's just like frustrating how easily you die.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you start getting higher up in level and stuff, you just know how everything becomes so much easier and you really will enjoy it. Not that I'm saying to keep playing. You do, but I'm not saying that. That's not. Don't put those words in my mouth.
I never said anything. So, well, all right, Ethan, what have you been playing?
I decided to play Mega Man ZX.
Okay.
I, yeah, it makes sense now when you look at the show notes, right?
It makes.
Yeah, don't change other people's things, man. Yeah.
My bad.
It's like that time I put Doki Doki Literature Club as DDLC and Tony starts correcting it as DLC. I'm like, no, that's already right.
Let's not talk. Let's not talk about DLC. I don't want to. That's a.
No, I just, had that Rockman. No, Rockman. Well, it is Rockman, but the Mega Man Zero collection. And I was like, I'm going to play ZX. And I spent like 2 hours stuck with the blue biometal running around the area of the map that you have access to after a certain time on there. Just like I know I have to go and save what's his face or whatever to get the Z biometal so I can get the sword in red suit for the rest of the game. I can't find it. It's like I've been everywhere and finally I asked her for help and he's like, "Did you take the mission?" And it's just that realization I need to go to one of these terminals, take the mission, so I can progress.
Who'd have thought?
I was extremely frustrated.
I can imagine.
But I have a lot of money in that game right now. And all I've done is like one mission. And then a bunch of free roaming and collecting money, trying to figure out where I went wrong. But seriously, yeah, I played that for like 3, 4 hours probably this week and a little last week. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
It's not a hard time to lose time in a Mega Man game, though.
yeah, but I mean, this is something like I played it through the on the DS originally, and
Mm.
and I don't recall having any issues with it. And then here I am coming back to it as several years later, and it's like I don't know where to go. Why am I not completing this mission? Where is it? Good times. Uh, I just I want to say I'm still good at this game or decent. I guess I don't know.
Mega Man games are hard.
They have various ways of being difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man 1 through 11, I guess. Those are hard in just gameplay, I guess.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The X series is hard in just the, I guess, collectibles and stuff, and the 100%ing, I would say. And then the Z series brings in the missions and all that fun stuff, and then the ZX brings in combining metals, turning into the boss people on there, and having different functions. It just, man, I don't know, and stupid Cyros and stupid things with those. But yeah,
I don't have any real experience with the ZX games, so
they're they're extremely story driven.
yeah. And I guess that's not. I've never played a Mega Man that has a really heavy emphasis on the story, other than like, oh, all the Robot Masters got Robo Flu, and you have to go kill them to get rid of the Robo Flu.
That is the exact plot of every Mega Man game.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy. But
So when in doubt, blame the Robo Flu.
what have you been playing, Tony?
I have been playing. Let's see, Immortals: Phoenix Rising still.
Yeah, obvious.
But I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh,
I'll talk about that later. No, I downloaded a game on Stadia this week. It's a Stadia exclusive. I think for the moment it's coming to Switch at some point, but it's not out on Switch yet. And that's Cthulhu Saves Christmas. I thought it was appropriate this week to play that because it's Christmas time, and who better to save Christmas than Cthulhu? So
hey,
it is an RPG.
just a quick question? When did Stadia come out?
Stadia came out a year ago.
Okay.
Why?
Uh, I'm just, I'm looking. I googled it.
Oh, okay. It came out November 19th ish last year. So,
Yeah, because there's like gameplay from a year ago.
so, but it was available for Stadia Pro subscribers for free this week. And I figured it's a short game. It won't take very long. It's like 6 hours long. So I downloaded it, played through most of it. I haven't finished it. I've got like 30 minutes or something left before I'm completely done with the game. But it feels very much like those old school Super Nintendo style RPGs. You play as Cthulhu, like the most adorable version of Cthulhu.
Like in
Because
all RPGs on the SNES, yes.
it's like it's 16-bit Cthulhu, and at one point he's wearing a Santa hat, and it's just adorable. Uh, and then you get a party of other creatures like Bell Snickle, Baba Yaga, and they all join your party at some point. And you go around, you save Christmas. One of the characters is like the granddaughter of Santa Claus, and she convinces Cthulhu to save Christmas. But of course, he's doing it for his own evil purposes, even though he's not, really that evil in this game. He tries to be evil. He's just not. And the one thing I really like about the game was the battle system. It's a little different from your traditional turn-based game in that you don't just have an action or a pool of mana to do spells. What happens is you get an array of skills that you can use, and most of those skills are like one-time use only during a fight. And then occasionally you'll have one attack that you can use over and over. Like Cthulhu has just an attack where he swings a sword, and he can use that over and over and over, but it is the weakest of his attacks. Or he'll have the ability to attack the enemy party with tentacles, and that will hit everybody that you're fighting, and it does a lot of damage. Or there will be a character that will have lightning based attacks, or attacks that drop like meteors on people, or fire based attacks, things like that. um,
Okay.
and then you have to kind of pre-plan things a little bit so that you use each attack at the appropriate time. Otherwise, you might have a little bit of difficulty in the battles. But of course, you've got characters that some of them have skills that focus on healing, so you can heal individual party members, or you can heal your whole party all at once. I think your party sticks mainly to a 4-person party. And then one of the things early on that I thought was really funny was you go into Santa's workshop, and there are a bunch of elves and some kind of demon. I don't remember exactly what his name was.
Okay.
But they talk about wanting to attack you all at once, and Cthulhu's like, well, the game engine only allows for 5 enemies at a time.
Nice.
So, it does a lot of things like that with breaking the fourth wall and injecting funny moments like that in the whole game. And so they attack you 5 at a time, and 5 of them will attack, and then that will be the end of that battle. And then 5 more of them will attack, and then a couple of them just run off because they don't want to die. So there's a lot of really funny moments in the game like that. And it was a really enjoyable 6 hours. This is a sequel to Cthulhu Saves the World, which I had never played before. But I may actually now go back and find a copy of that game.
I was gonna ask if you were gonna go back and do that now.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was a fun little RPG, and I expect the other game is probably about the same amount of time. I don't think it's probably a very long game. So fitting it here in the Christmas break when things are a little slower, because I haven't started Hyrule Warriors, which I really need to do. It's been sitting over there on the shelf, and I haven't touched it. So once I've finished with a couple of the games I'm playing right now, I'm going to get over into Hyrule Warriors. But that's really it for me this week. Just a quick little fun RPG for the Christmas season.
Nice.
So yeah. Let's take, though, a quick break. We will come back, and we will talk about our 5 favorite games of the year. Well, guys, the end of the year is upon us, so that means it is time to do our favorite games of the year list. And Cole, I don't think we've given you any kind of criteria beforehand. So usually with these lists, it's not our 5 favorite games that have come out this year. It's our 5 favorite games that we played for the first time this year.
I limit mine to what came out this year.
Oh, wait. Okay.
So
I just told him top 5 games. I didn't give him anything else to go off of.
yeah, and that's why I'm allowing Destiny on your list.
No, Destiny's allowed on this list. We have reasons.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's why we're allowing some other games on your list.
Spoiler: Destiny's on our list.
But the 3 of us have ours, and Stuart also sent his along. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start at number 5, and each of us will say our game, and then we'll have a brief discussion about why we think it's our favorite game, or it deserves a spot on our favorite games of the year list. Okay. And Stuart sent along his as well, and Ethan, you have his stuff for that. So let's just go ahead. We'll start with Stuart right now. So what was his number 5 game
Stuart's
of.
number 5 game of the year is Raging Loop.
This is the one game on his list. I have no idea what it is.
I've never heard of it either. But according to him, it is a very solid visual novel with time travel elements.
Okay, so it's a Doctor Who novel.
Kinda. And
Okay.
he really loves visual novels, so it's not surprising for one to show up in his list. And if it's on his list, then it's probably worth at least looking into. Even if you're not into him that much, you might have some enjoyment with it.
It might be one I'll check out. I really liked those visual novel style games on the DS. I thought that was the perfect system for stuff like that, where you could hold the system book style and actually do things on the touch screen while
Oh yeah,
looking at
there's
maps.
some real interesting games like that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a really good system for those visual novel
I
style
think some
games.
of those actually started porting over to like iPhone and stuff instead, though.
That wouldn't be surprising.
Hmm.
So, all right. Well, Cole, what about you? What is your fifth favorite game of the year?
Okay, so for mine with no criteria really, I chose Minecraft. I know Minecraft has been around for 20 plus years,
There
stuff
was an
like that.
update in 2020. We'll say it counts.
Yes, dates. Yes. So uh, I I always find a way to come back to this game, and they've got new stuff added to it. Whether it's the new Nether update, I know they also updated the sea biomes and stuff like that this year. So diving back into that, it's just as much fun as it was when it first came out.
Yeah,
No,
that Nether update this year was huge, and it really changed the way you play in the Nether.
yeah,
I know. I've seen my kids playing, and occasionally I'll jump into Minecraft with them. I haven't played Minecraft really in probably a couple years at this point, but
into the realms.
um, but yeah, my kids play it all the time still, and occasionally I'll jump in and play around with them. Just seeing the changes to the Nether was crazy because it's not all red now. There's like some other colors in there. It's almost a place that if you were brave enough, you could build a house and just live in the Nether
Hmm.
with this new update.
You kind of can. You just still can't have a bed.
That's true. You can't sleep in the Nether,
But you do
which
have a
is a problem.
respawn in there now, so that's cool.
So,
Yes.
well,
That
all
was,
right, Ethan. What about you? What was your number five?
My number 5 is a tie
Okay,
between Animal Crossing Horizons. Was it Horizon or Horizons?
Animal
New
Crossing:
Horizons.
New Horizon.
New Horizons. Whatever. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
And Doom Eternal.
Okay. Like these two games, they have to be eternally linked now at this point since Doom 2016 and Animal Crossing. Um,
Yes, sure.
like Isabelle is as much a part of Doom as Doom Guy is in Animal Crossing, and neither of them have been in either of those games.
I
Yeah.
love where it all starts with that one tweet Nintendo makes going, "Hey, new Animal Crossing coming out" or something. And then Doom Twitter is Isabel going to be there? It's just okay, this is where it starts.
Yeah, like Animal Crossing has been that game that really was everybody's game this year. Like it was the unfortunately the situation in the world made it perfect for people to really get into Animal Crossing and just have that place where they could relax
Your
and not have.
isolated island to yourself
Yeah,
and whoever you want on your island. And
yeah,
by
and it was a
whoever
way
you
for
want, I
people,
mean whoever they throw at you.
it was a way for people to get together and have fun without actually being able to get together.
I'm scared to turn mine back on because I don't want to see what happened to my island.
There's probably spiders everywhere.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Every inch of the island is now covered in weeds.
Yep.
Probably. Yeah.
You don't have a five
So
star rating.
Hmm?
You don't have a 5-star rating anymore.
I didn't even have a 5-star rating when I quit.
I think I never got above like 3.
Yeah, that's where I was around.
So, and like that's another one of those games that my kids play all the time. I see them. Well, I'll come home and the little kids are visiting the big kids island, and the big kids are playing hide and seek on the little kids island, and it's
That's
been
awesome.
really good. It's been really good Animal Crossing for them to interact because they don't, the older kids don't really play with the littler kids because there's such a big age difference. But with Animal Crossing, they can get together and have fun with each other, and it's been one of those games that's brought my kids closer together this year.
Definitely.
A lot of
So,
Animal Crossing talk, but Doom Eternal was a pretty good game. I haven't really finished either one. Like I got credits in Animal Crossing, but I haven't finished what I'm wanting to do in there. But it got to a point where it's like I want to play other stuff, and the same thing happened with Doom. And it's like this is more of what I've already done before, but there's more puzzles and there's a lot more story in this one. So it was like
mhm,
kind of a make me shy away from it a bit, but it's still Doom. I still like it.
yeah. I remember I tried playing Doom Eternal the day it hit Game Pass for the Xbox, and I got to the point where I saw the first of those like big four-legged tank type
Oh, the
demons.
spiders, yeah.
Yeah, and couldn't get past it on the Xbox, so I deleted the game, turned it off. When it
Hey,
came to Game Pass on the PC, I downloaded it again and got past them the first time. And I played the heck out of some Doom Eternal on the PC, and I actually turned it into black and white, and I've played through almost the entire game in like the black and white mode.
oh, neat.
Nice.
Tony,
And
did you finish 2016?
no.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well,
no, the thing with 2016 was I played that on the Switch, and I got such bad motion sickness playing that game on that system.
hmm.
So I never finished it. It's one of those games that I've always wanted to go back and play and finish because I really liked what I was playing.
We need to make it
And
play in VR.
oh gosh, there would be projectile vomiting all over the place, and my living room would turn into the hellscape of Mars.
Oh,
So
now if you ever make it to the end of Doom 2016, you're gonna feel a lot better about those little spiders you're fighting.
oh yeah, is it because the end of Doom 2016 makes them look like a cakewalk?
Oh, they're small spiders.
Oh, okay, great.
But I think that was actually a thing from the original Doom as well, where one of the bosses is a big one. Then the next game, the little ones start showing up and say, "All right, well, kill these and keep going."
So, all right. Well, my number 5 was a throwback to the NES days with River City Girls.
Okay.
Like, I have played through that game now a couple of different times with my kids. I played through it once on co-op with Jake, and we've actually gone about 1.5 times through that game because we finished the game and then realized we missed so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are so many different hidden collectibles. Some in the first playthrough, we never found one of them, like the cats. There's like 15 or 20 cats that you find in the game,
That's awesome.
and realized we had gotten 0 of them, mainly because we didn't know you're supposed to collect the cats. So we thought they were just cats in the environment. And that ended up not being the case. And they're like hidden statues. I think we got 15 of the 25. So, and some of them are really well hidden. But it's a really, really good, solid beat 'em up. It's made by Way Forward. So,
Oh yeah, those guys know what they're doing.
um, they know how to make a side scrolling, you know,
Beat them up.
any kind of side scrolling game, but especially the beat 'em up. Um, and so it kind of tosses that formula from the original NES game on its head, where instead of you playing as the guys going to save the girls, this time you're playing as the girls trying to save the guys. And there's a funny twist to the story towards the end that I won't spoil for anybody that hasn't played it.
They were
But the
dinosaurs all along.
the two girls play really differently from each other. Um, both of them use a lot of different like wrestling moves. So there will be, like Hurricane Ranas and Frankensteiners and all kind, RKOs. And people who are wrestling fans know what all those terms mean. If you're not a wrestling fan, you have no idea. But then, and you have, by the time you're done with the game, you have like 20 or so different moves that each of the girls can do, and they're both different from each other. So there is a lot of customization in the game. My favorite thing to do was end every combo with a dab because it was an area of effect attack as well. And so when you're doing the combo at the end, you hit that dab and your character dashes forward a little bit, leaves a rainbow trail behind her, and will just knock over anybody that's in the area. And then once you finish the game, you unlock a couple of secret characters that will let you play through the game again with New Game Plus if you'd like. So I've put a ton of time into River City Girls this year.
Sounds like you really enjoyed that one.
It was really good. Like, if you haven't played it, I would suggest going and checking it out because it's really good.
That's on Game Pass, right?
It is on Game Pass for both Xbox and PC, I believe. So I don't know if it has online play, though. I don't think it does. But it does have couch co-op.
Missed
for sure.
opportunity.
It may. I just don't know. I didn't look to see if it had online co-op or if it was just local.
Remember when Streets of Rage 4 added the proper online play?
Oh,
Or actually, when our internet started working together properly?
that's another one that was really good. Like, it's been a really good year for remakes of beat 'em ups. The Battletoads one was really good.
Yeah.
River City Girls, Streets of Rage. I really wish they'd take that Yakuza one that they did, the one level of, and make that into a full game. I think that would be a lot of fun. So, but let's move on to number 4. So, Ethan, what is Stuart's number 4?
Dragon Quest 11S?
That's a good version of that game.
And he says, one of, if not the best single Dragon Quest game around now.
It's really, really good. Like, I don't know what I have a hard time picking my favorite Dragon Quest game because I played them all. Like, I've even played the spin-offs with like the Dragon Quest Monsters and the Joker, Dragon Quest Joker. I don't remember exactly what the title of it was, but like 11's really good. I'm actually playing through it again on my phone this time using the 16-bit version of the game.
Okay.
So, like, it's one of those, because you have both the 3D version and the 2D version, and they're essentially the same game. There's a slight difference in some of the dialogue and things like that. But playing it 3D on the TV and then playing it 2D on my phone, it seemed to make a lot of sense.
I'm thinking why it hits multiple fan bases of this series, I guess, then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you're a fan of that classic style, it's very, very easy to go and play that old 2D version of the game. And then if you prefer the 3D, like 8 and 9, or like 8 and not 9, because 9 was a 2D game on the DS.
9 was 2D?
But, yeah, 9 was 2D. It was a DS game. And it was top-down, pixelated style graphics.
I don't recall it being pixelated. I recall it being like top
There was
down.
some sort of 3D.
It was like
cutscene.
3D with a 2D movement style, but doesn't mean it was a 2D game. That's the one where you're like an angel that reincarnates or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't 2D.
Yes.
That was like the first game I played in the Dragon Quest series. It was very short-lived as well.
All right. Well, Cole, what about you? What is your number 4?
So I was going through Game Pass and I found this little gem. It's called Undermine. Let's see what I can. And it is a dungeon delver RPG. you go through, you mine gold and try to beat bosses, and you die, and then your descendant or whatever gets whatever gold you got left, and they get to use the upgrades. So the first diver is not going to be the guy who beats the final boss.
Mhm.
It's 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 meant to be like the lemmings of mining, where
Yeah.
the next one goes down, it gets a little bit further, and you get some upgrades to get further, and it's it's really pretty good. I played some Enter the Gungeon, similar style game, but this one has a little bit more of a replayability for me. I
Yeah.
think it's easier to play solo because it doesn't offer multiplayer like the other ones. So there's no co-op for there, but it was a gym, and I enjoyed it.
That's one of those things that's sort of becoming a more common thing in those roguelite style games where you play as someone and then when you die, you're one of the kids of the person who was the character before you.
Oh yeah, just like in a mystery murder party or whatever on Jackbox.
Yeah.
You play the game again, and you come back as the second or the third, depending on how many games you play.
Yeah. Trivia Murder Party is our favorite Jackbox game. Like that is so much fun.
That one should make it in too. They've had a few Jackbox games come out on the Game Pass as well, so I get to keep playing newer ones that I haven't played.
Mhm.
I think Jackbox Party Pack 7 just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, 7 is on Game Pass. It came out earlier this year.
I didn't know it was on Game Pass. I knew it just came out.
Yep, it is. It is on Game Pass. So, all right. What about you, Ethan? What is your number 4?
Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
I've heard this one's pretty good.
It is pretty good. It's like take everything from the previous Spider-Man game and then make it better.
Okay.
Aside from minor improvements like being able to do the stealth stuff off walls and ceilings now, you Miles is not like traditional Spider-Man. He has actual powers with his abilities of the spider. So he's got like the
Okay.
venom bite, which is actually just a bioelectric current that he sends through his body to shock people. And then he can also turn invisible. So you like your stealth segments, you're really up the game because you just go invisible, walk up behind someone, take them out, and then you stick back to a wall or something.
It's really nice to be. It's or really easy to be stealthy when nobody can see you.
Oh yeah, it's great. Eventually they do up the difficulty there, saying, "All right, these guys are wearing thermal goggles. Good luck now."
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, there's my first target right there.
If you see the guy with goggles, take him out first.
Yeah, there you go. But I
You wouldn't hit a guy with goggles, would you?
remove
Yes.
goggles, then
Yes,
punch
I
him,
would.
give him the
That's right.
goggles back. All
Actually, I
right.
would do it first. Yeah.
Actually, take the goggles off, start punching them with the goggles. Yeah, you're punching them with goggles. But yeah, this
That's
game basically took everything that was good about the original Marvel Spider-Man on PS4 and now on PS5 with the different Peter Parker. But it kind of improved on it, made it uh, good for Miles' story. Even his sets of costumes, it was not nearly as extensive as what Peter has, but his outfits are pretty cool and they match his personality pretty well. And just getting to see kind of a Manhattan, New York thing during the. Why are you misspelling my name? Get out of
the.
stop that.
It's one of the drawbacks of being able to change documents live.
Gosh.
Like we could just go in and change your number 3 game to Super Mario 64
I know you could.
right now.
Isn't that your quick tag though?
What?
That's your quick tag in Halo.
No, N64 is my quick tag.
In 64, yeah.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a tag you're not supposed to be able to use, and I can use it because uh, 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 Bungie is not involved anymore for some reason. 343 overlooked it. There we go. Now you know. There you go. There's my number 4, Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
All right. Well,
When Master Chief went to New York.
my number 4, we are sticking with the remake or remaster or whatever you want to call it. We're bringing back another old school game,
Ooh.
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Ricka
Oh.
remake.
I don't know if you know this, but Final Fantasy VII is a really good game.
I may have been told that once or twice. I don't know.
Square Enix took an already really, really good game and made it better.
They gave Jesse more storyline.
Exactly. That's all they needed to do. All they needed to do. No, they took a lot of the story, because we know Final Fantasy VII Remake is not the whole story. It's only about a third of the story at most.
It's the Midgar storyline. That's it.
We don't know how many different games we're going to get in the Final Fantasy VII universe. So who knows how long this story will end up being. But yeah, this does take all of the Midgar section and brings it into a modern age. And so you've got really great visuals, really great. Like the soundtrack is phenomenal. The voice acting is all really, really good. I was a little hesitant on the battle system when they were showing it off at first, because I thought, I really wanted that old school turn-based active time battle. Just give me the fighting system from Final Fantasy VII with a fresh coat of paint and some new orchestrated music and stuff, and that is all I would need. But I ended up really liking the battle system from Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's a really good modern take on that system. So there is more editing of the show notes happening. I don't know what is going on. This is just what's going to happen when Cole's on the show, apparently.
Maybe.
I am so sorry. Quick question about the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay.
Are the characters still Nintendo 64 like papercraft?
No, we never got that as DLC.
No, that would have been nice, but everybody has hands now.
Oh.
So it's more like a newer Final Fantasy game.
Oh yeah, it is like, if they were making Final Fantasy 16 and just called it Final Fantasy 7, that's what this would look like.
Yep.
Okay, so it's the 2020 version of graphics.
Yeah, it's if Final Fantasy 7 was made this year,
they are not polygons.
No.
And
cool. They are very generous with their particle effects. Like, they really like particle effects. They are everywhere.
J.J. Abrams style.
Michael Bay style.
Lens flares everywhere. Yeah.
Like there's lens flare on top of lens flare on top of lens flare in this game. So
it's so much materia.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even seem like it's that much, but there's materia everywhere to get.
And like, I was wondering, how are they going to take an evil sentient house and make it work in a modern day?
And they did a horrible job with that one.
But somehow you're still like, oh, yeah, whatever. I'm fighting a house now. Sure. Let's do that.
That fight takes like an hour to do. It's so dumb.
It's a really long fight. Like, and I had to do it multiple times. So,
but I guess they did such a good job that the villain made it to Smash.
It's true.
Well, he had nothing better to do for a while. So.
We're not going to get part 2 of this game for another like 5 years at the earliest. So, Sephiroth's got time.
Very good.
He's got plenty of time. So, all right, let's move on to number 3. Ethan, what do you got here for Stuart?
Stuart's number 3 is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
I've heard that's a pretty good game.
He says a remaster of a great game with quite a few quality of life improvements.
Yeah, I
He
have
abbreviated
not
quality
played
of life. I was about to say qual.
Cold. Yeah, I played the original on the Wii. I have not played either the 3DS version, the 3DS port, or this new remake of the game or remaster of the game.
Was this the one that was like using PS2 graphics or something?
Well, I mean, the original was on the Wii, so yeah, it was
Like it was like
pretty.
bad PS2 graphics, like early PS2.
Like the 3DS version of the game looked like a bad PS2 game for sure. Uh, it definitely got even from the Wii, it got a visual downgrade coming to the 3DS.
Oh, oh gosh.
So yeah, take Wii level 3D, which is early PS3 at best, and downgrade that. So uh, you're definitely getting PS2 level graphics on the 3DS version. The new one definitely improves on those. You get a little bit more of a cell shaded style. Everything looks really nice in the new version of the game, but I haven't had a chance to actually play it yet.
Definitely looks more anime instead of
Yes,
just pixels. We'll go with
yes,
that.
they are definitely leaning into an anime sort of vibe with that game.
Which is fine.
So, well, what about you, Cole? What is your number 3 game of the year?
So we've talked about this game a little bit, so I won't touch it on too much. But Animal Crossing: New Horizons made my number 3 spot. I
Nice.
me
Heard of
and
this.
me and Anna both decided this is the first game we were going to purchase on the Switch when we
It's
got
his
that.
wife.
That's my
What?
wife. Yeah. Who?
I heard she likes
No.
Minecraft.
She
And she's a mama.
does not.
Yes.
She. It's a weird thing. So she doesn't play Minecraft with us, but she's Minecraft mama. I don't know. But we have all these kid came with it because or that we bought with it because the kids wanted the Switch bad, so we got them that for Christmas last year. I wanted
Okay.
for I don't know how long the Switch has been out.
Like 2
Um,
years or something.
something like that, yeah. So we decided that was a game that we both wanted, so we got that, and it's a lot of fun.
It's really
It's a
good.
good. It came out at the right time for everyone to really enjoy it, and with the content they keep releasing for it, I think it'll be around till the next one.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good. They're definitely going to be updating that game for a while.
Mhm.
So, well, all right, Ethan. What about you? Number 3.
My number 3 is Destiny 2. Oh gosh, what is the name of the current expansion called?
Beyond Light.
Beyond Light. There we go.
Shadowkeep.
Right.
There's so many expansion names. Like I googled it up the other day. I was like, which one is it? And there's like stuff I didn't even know we're getting. Like what next year's like Burn the Witch or something.
So,
Forsaken.
yeah.
There's one that has like the word witch in there. I really don't know what it is.
Bullet Witch.
You,
Bullet Witch.
Destiny
There we
2
go.
it's
Bullet
gonna be
Witch.
something. It's gonna be Witch because it's about the
Bullet Witch. Yeah,
Savathun.
got it.
Destiny 2 Bullet Witch. I'm in.
Oh, I'm down.
This one, I guess we mentioned it earlier, but it just, uh, uh, man, kind of put everyone back on like an even playing field to start off with, and just everyone's working their way back up to the being on top again, and we've lost like half the planets in the galaxy or solar system or something. And I'm probably butchering this, and Cole's like, "Shut up! No, you're doing it wrong."
The
But
question is, did it take
No,
people very long to figure out where to go and just farm?
it was just go to
Equip-
Europa and do stuff, really.
no, they this is the first time since Destiny 1 that there was a loot cave. When Beyond Light came out, Cosmodrome had the loot cave, and people just sat in there. It was slower, but just sat there, farmed Ingrams for a couple hours
Well, I
until they
mean,
patched
yeah,
it.
it was the return of the loot cave, really, wasn't it?
D2, Return of the Loot Cave.
There we go. But yeah,
Fun ass
this one
game.
introduced a new planet, Europa, and on that planet we discover the dark powers and gain stasis or ice powers, as they're actually looked at as.
Yeah,
So yeah, bunch
basically.
of new, bunch of new stuff there. Uh, it's barely even been what, oh, about a month out now or something. Or no, like 2 months out now.
Yeah.
7 weeks.
Gosh, 7 weeks. So yeah, we still have a ways to go to see what more this expansion has to offer.
There you go.
Yep. But
My number three is the return of sorts of a franchise that I really, really like, and that is Paper Mario. Paper Mario: The Origami King came out this year, and I really enjoyed that game.
that was a cute game.
It was really good. Like, um, I've been a long time fan of the Paper Mario series, and I have been begging for Nintendo to get back to the style of game from the first couple of games where it was all about character, straight turn-based RPG battles, and just having fun with the series again. I mean, they tell a really good, really heartfelt story. There's some really emotional moments in the game that are intermixed with just sheer insanity. Um,
And they did have fun making this game. You can tell.
Yeah, you can. After the last couple of games that focused really heavily on card-based battles, and Paper Mario on the 3DS was just panned almost universally by the fan base, because it was possible to get in situations where you could not finish a battle because you didn't have attacks to use, because if you ran out of cards, that was it. There was nothing you could do, and you had to lose the fight. And it really stunk if you got into a boss fight and had no way to battle an enemy. Um, they got rid of that card-based stuff, went back to a sort of turn-based thing. I mean, the combat is turn-based. It's Mario takes his attack, and then the enemies take theirs. But they had to do something, and they tossed in a weird shuffling puzzle at the beginning of every fight, which got really tedious. It got to the point where I was just like, I don't care. Do the ultimate cheer and let Toads figure it out.
Yeah,
Um,
eventually it's just cheering every time unless you can figure it out quickly.
yeah. So that was the one thing I really didn't like about it. But the actual turn-based portions of the battles were really good. Um, the bosses, a little generic, but ultimately not really bad enemies. You're fighting office supplies, which when you just say that, it sounds really weird, but it fits in the context of the game. And even some of the bosses had some personality. When you remember and vividly enjoy remembering fighting a hole punch,
I forgot about that.
uh, you know, and the hole punch would punch out Mario's face, and you'd have to find Mario's face in the middle of a battle so that you could get some health back. Um, it was it. I found myself smiling a lot playing the game. The kids watched me the entire time. I was not allowed to play the game without the kids in the room. Paper Mario became a sort of family affair for us. So while it's still not quite, N64 Paper Mario or the Thousand Year Door, we took a step back towards that, and it was really, really good to get into the world of Paper Mario again.
I agree.
So let's move on now, though, to number two. What does Stuart have for
Oh,
us?
right, number 2 on Stuart's list, and I am totally prepared to read this. Aegis Rim 13 Sentinels. I hope I read that
This,
correctly.
yeah,
Aegis,
yeah.
Aegis, whatever. A game that is hard to talk about without spoilers.
It's a vanillaware.
A very ambitious story with many twists and turns.
It's a vanillaware game, and if you know vanillaware, you know exactly what to expect. Uh, so we're talking, Odin Sphere, Muramasa, that style of game. Except this time, instead of being in a fantasy setting, it is in. It's like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
Uh,
kind of.
So I haven't played it yet. I've just paid. I've seen a lot of video of it. It's one of those games that I really want to play and just haven't had a chance to get around to actually playing. So,
Yeah, I kind of need to play it too.
but let's move on to Cole. What is your number 2 game of the year?
So thanks to PG playing games on Wednesday and Game Pass, my number 2, which could easily be my number 1, is Sea of Thieves.
This
Uh,
is a game that has sucked up so much of our time this year.
This game has made me want to
yeah,
rage quit so much.
it it's the easiest game to that we can all jump on. It's the one that we don't have to have stuff set up ahead of time. We can jump in the game and do whatever quest, sail around. It's got everything. You can shoot yourself out of the cannon. You can launch yourself at the pirate.
You shoot your
Launch
cats at the
yourself at.
cannons.
Pretty sure
You can shoot your cats at the cannon.
our cats got shot out of cannons every week. It was without fail one of the
We
first
really
things that
need to
always
do that on to another crew. Just drive by, shoot cats at them. It's like, oh, they're shooting at. What the heck is a cat doing here?
We had to get lanterns lit on different aisles, so we were shooting ourselves out of the cannon at the island, land on the platform, bouncing on and landing miles away in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's just fun. The gameplay, the events going on, the hours sunk, the locking each other in the brig, throwing up on each
I'm
other.
the only one that ever got locked in the brig.
That might be true, actually.
It was always me.
Captain, the captain always goes down with his ship.
And I went down with the ship a couple of times while locked in the brig.
Exactly.
So,
We didn't want you to accidentally jump off or something.
okay.
So
Make
that
sure.
that definitely.
We wanted to keep you nice and safe. We were worried you might
Well-
get scurvy or sunburnt.
While the ship is sinking.
I don't argue the facts, man.
You were a danger to yourself. I think everybody was a danger to themselves. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Shannon
that's definitely
was a
true.
danger to himself. Oh my gosh, that was my favorite clip we ever got. Was Shannon discovering the barrel? He's like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
And we're all dead.
Yeah, never let the new guy near the explosive barrels. That is the moral of Sea of Thieves.
Never let anyone on our ship have an explosive barrel. You get 300 gold. It's not worth it. It always sinks the ship.
Or, I'll be standing there talking or, trying to help Ethan with something. And Cole's like, hey, Tony, look over here. And I turn and then
Smack.
boom. And we're all dead. So, yeah, Sea of Thieves while it was also an incredibly frustrating game at times, it was so much fun to just get in and sail. Like, it is one of the prettiest games I have ever played. That water tech that they've got going on in that game is just amazing. And I know I think the game's been out for a couple years at this point, but it was not very well received at the beginning, and it's come a long way in a couple of years worth of development. And I think 2020 was a really good year for Rare and Sea of Thieves.
Okay, yeah.
So, what about you, Ethan? What is your number 2 game?
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
I've heard it's pretty good.
It's not. It's not a. Oh, gosh. Ugh,
Never let Colt near the show notes.
I know. Gotta ban that anonymous hedgehog in there right now.
You have been banned from Google Docs. Oh, great.
Yeah. So everything Tony was saying earlier, I agree. That game is. It's great to return to a reimagining of everything that game is, with added content. Just in, we're still in the early part of the story, if anything. So looking forward to more of that in the future. And I hope it comes sooner rather than later,
Mm-hmm.
like tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it tomorrow.
I want it tomorrow. I've already said it. Don't let me down, Square Enix. But yeah, it's just, I mean, the way they've handled summons, the combat in there, the magic, where it's no longer just turn by turn. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy VII proper. It's just this is like more for the modern audience, where it's more action oriented, and you have to just watch out for various things and get your spacing right. It's all kinds of fun stuff there.
Yeah,
Any quick time events?
there are.
Yeah, I think there are, especially on the motorcycle.
That's true. There are some on the motorcycle. So,
Yeah. So Tony, what is your numero 2?
so my number 2 game is a game I'm still currently playing, but I'm about 20 hours into and have been loving it, and that is Immortals: Phoenix Rising,
Never heard of it.
or as I like to call it, Assassin's Creed: Breath of the Wild.
Heard of it.
It's a fantastic game. Like I have once I got past my initial issues, mainly with the controls, figured those out, fixed them, got them where I wanted to. The game has been nothing but phenomenal. It is incredibly funny. Like the unreliable narrator that Zeus is, talking with Prometheus, who is imprisoned, and they're telling the story and things that are happening in the game. They're commenting on things that they say change what's happening in the game at certain points. Where, like, you know,
Oh, cool.
you're fighting an enemy, and then all of a sudden Zeus is like, "No, you're not fighting chickens. You're fighting a minotaur or whatever," and a minotaur will come crashing down on you. And then they just keep changing it over and over. So there's a lot of that. It is a game that has been it takes the Assassin's Creed formula of climbing to something high and unlocking the map. And while you do that, as soon as you unlock the map, it doesn't tell you anything. It's just like, okay, here's the unlocked portion of the map. Now, if you find anything, we'll put it on the map. So if you come across one of the dungeons, they're not called dungeons. They're not shrines either. They're
They're
like,
challenge areas.
yeah. When you come across one of those, it'll put it on the map. And then once you've done all of the challenges, it closes it and it changes the icon on the map, but it still leaves it there so you can use it as a fast travel point.
Ooh.
So there is, constantly you're coming across, and it rewards people who explore the environment, because unlike a traditional open world game, it doesn't just bombard you with things to do, like go do this, go do this, go do this, go do this. You're just exploring and coming across these things, and there'll be environmental puzzles, things like I did one the other day where I had to stand on a platform, and there was just this row of axes it felt like it was like a mile long, and it had rings in the end of the axes, and you had to shoot an arrow through all of them, and it's not a straight line. It's this nice like moon shaped curve, but halfway through the things, there's this tiny little hole in a cave wall or in a rock wall that you have to get the arrow through, and there's another line of those axes on the other side of it. And then if you finish that, it rewards you with something that you can use to increase your abilities, gain new abilities, and uh, things like that. So there's all kinds of things to do in the environment. Whereas at times, Breath of the Wild sometimes felt a little empty.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in Breath of the Wild, but there were some places where it felt like you could ride for a very long time and not see an enemy, not see an environmental puzzle, not see a shrine, nothing. Um,
But you can't go
I,
2 steps without stepping on a Korok.
exactly. I have not found a single thing that even relates to Koroks in this game, which has been really nice. Uh, but there's always something to do in this game. The enemies scale really nicely with you, so anywhere you go on the map, you can fight, and the enemies will scale along with you. So you can do the game in any order you want, and it doesn't punish you for not doing it in the right order.
Hmm.
So it's been a phenomenal game. Like I have been really it's I think I don't remember if I described it on the podcast before as kind of like a nice balance of the open world of Yakuza and the open world of Breath of the Wild. Where, Yakuza is technically an open world game,
Yeah,
but its open world is so small, but they pack it so full of stuff. Like that you can't take 2 steps in Yakuza without running into a side quest
yeah.
or
And that game
a
is full of so
karaoke
much
bar.
life with just NPCs walking around too.
Yeah. Um, and so this fits really nicely in between that style of open world, and it's been really, really good. Um, and it's not as long as some of those other games. Like I think you can finish this game in 25 to 30, 35 hours. So uh, unlike a lot of RPGs now, which are like, we're giving you 150 hours of gameplay. Um, 90 hours of that is going to be fetch quests and tedious work, and 10 hours of it's going to be really, really good. This is just a 25, 30, 35 hour, really solid uh, open world RPG. So
Nice.
uh, that is my number 2 game. So let's move on to the number 1, our favorite games of the year. What did Stuart put on his list?
Persona 5 Royal.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Or should I say Royale? No, it's not Royale, it's Royal. Royale would be a different game.
Yeah.
And I kind of want that game to exist. Anyway, so Persona 5 Royal, which is kind of a reimagining of Persona 5, with or add additional content. And Stewart writes, with all the changes and improvements, this game is almost a brand new experience compared to vanilla Persona 5. New characters, locations, activities, Persona, and even a new month of content make this a very easy recommendation.
Nice. Yeah, the Persona series is one that I have heard so much about from everybody that's been on the show in the past, and I have never really played a Persona game.
Yeah, you really haven't. But
I
you've played like Shin Megami Tensei though, so it's
yeah,
like
I'm more familiar with the SMT side of that than the Persona side of the franchise.
it's really interesting to realize that because it's like you've played a Persona game, you just don't know it.
Yeah,
Or rather, Persona fans have played SMT games and they don't know it.
yeah, yeah. So,
But yeah, Persona
uh,
5 Royale is a really good uh, updated version of Persona 5, I guess you could say. Like, there's been. It follows the basic story, but there's just all these. Uh, what did he say earlier? Quality of life improvements, I guess, and the
mhm,
additional content and the changes to make things different.
yeah,
Like in the original Persona 5, it was like really easy to like farm money and level up and stuff on there just because of some exploits. Whereas this game, they've taken that out and changed the way it works. And personas that you would run into usually by these points anyway, you're now running into a completely different set. and it makes better sense for the most part in the areas you're running into these things as well. So it's nice to see all these changes. And Tony's muted for a moment.
Oh, I thought I had unmuted. I am so sorry.
No, it's fine.
What about you, Cole? What is your number one game of the year?
It's the same game I had for 2019, 2018. That would be Destiny 2. If for some reason I have a top 5 and Destiny 2 is not at the top, or whatever Destiny game's out, um, I've been replaced with an alien.
Mine's gotta be an alien.
Because I guess it could be an EXO. I don't think we're that far yet.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll figure it out.
With all the updates and everything that's going on in the game, it just made me love the franchise even more. New superpowers, with the stasis subclass, new storyline with the crow and other things that are going on.
Good old crow.
They've got more lore in this game. They've got more titles for me to chase. There's more stuff to buy, more rewards for me to buy.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I didn't mention this earlier, but that I ordered that raid jacket.
So yeah, whenever they have a new raid come out, they have a reward if you can beat it in the first week.
We totally did not beat it in the first week.
Yeah, they have a jacket you can purchase. This one's probably the coolest one. So a lot of this Europa is very Star Wars Planet Hoth feely.
Yeah.
And so their raid jacket the design is like basically based on the outerwear from Hoth. So it's a heavy weather jacket for the cold. With a little fur hood part.
Yep.
And then it actually has a vest that zips out that looks just like Princess Leia's vest from Empire Strikes Back.
That sounds fantastic.
I'm gonna wear the crap out of that vest.
It's very cool. It's the first raid I've been able to beat week 1. First one that
oh yeah, you did beat week 1.
Any of our clan members have got the raid jacket or anything like that, which is pretty cool. We're we've probably never mentioned this. The clan that we're in, something came up with. It's Data Drain Clan, so it's a little Data Drain podcast.
Well, it used to be Nintendo Ogi, but something happened to that.
Oh yeah. We had to get rid of that clan, replace it with the Data Drain one.
Yep.
But everybody know who's on the podcast and people you don't, the Data Drain clan. So if you're in Destiny 2 and you're looking for a place to call home, that's probably what
it might not be data drain, but feel free to do it anyway. Yeah. Chances are we're not going to boot you.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's too many reasons for that to be my number one.
All right. Well,
but I'm happy with it.
Ethan, what about you? What is your number one game of 2020?
So my number one, I think it's still in early access, is Why are you? It cannot be Destiny 2. It's already number 3.
Oh.
Phasmophobia.
You have played a lot of this game this year.
For me to play a horror game, if anything, is amazing in itself. I like those games. I like watching people play them more. But I mean, this is one I've actually played because it's multiplayer, so that's helped a lot. And I've dragged Stuart and Jason in there. I've dragged you in there, Tony. We tried to get Cole in there. That's a work in progress.
Yeah, I'll get there.
One of these days we'll get to that match. But
when PC comes
out, it is a load of fun just going in, hunt just these houses in this game, looking for where these ghosts are, trying to decipher what they could be. and then going and doing extra activities to or doing extra work to earn more money in there as a reward, like your objectives, like find dirty water in a sink. So, okay, well I turn on the sink and it's clean water. Then the ghost walks by and it's suddenly dirty. That is the rarest thing to ever get in that game because that never happens. And they always wanted you to
What?
do that before they made an update to fix that. What?
Oh no, I said it finally happened the last time you did.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. But you walk into a house and it's like, all right, the family left in a hurry. This one sounds dangerous, and you go in. It's like, oh, the temperature's low in this room, and they're going to be changing this up eventually, where the ghost will move, so you don't just know exactly where it is every time. But you go in, it's like, all right, now you pull out a spirit box. You're like, are you here? And it starts going through radio channels, and then suddenly you hear a voice say, here or away or just make straight up threats at you. It's like, okay, so the ghost is talking to me on this, so toss that down on the ground. Pull out your EMF reader, and you're like looking for electromagnetic, whatever that is on there. It's like, man, this game really needs I think it's called a PKE meter.
Yeah, from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, man, I would love to have one of those. Just mod whatever in the game, replace it with that. It's like, doo-doo-doo-doo. Man. But you pull that out, you gotta scan stuff, and then you got friends, like we're all trying different things. Sometimes the ghost is like responding to everyone, sometimes it just responds to one person. And then you got like the person who likes to hide in the truck. I like to volunteer for that job quite often. Looking through the video camera saying, alright, we got a spirit orb, that means that's another piece of evidence. Yay.
Turn the light off.
That happens so often. Oh man.
I actually really love watching them play it. It's really entertaining.
What'd you think the other day when I tried to do some solo hunts in the like easiest mode possible?
You could tell that being with people makes it a lot less scary because you're like yeah, you're like, I gotta get as much done as possible these first 5 minutes because after that it's not going to be fun for anyone. And by anyone I mean I'm the only person here and I do not want to get killed by the ghost.
I've gotten to where I've studied the game enough. Like you can throw items through doors. So I walked up to the front door. As soon as you open it, it's when that timer starts. So I threw like everything I'm gonna need through there. And it's like, all right, open the door, grab everything I need, and go. And it's just back and forth, hoping that it's like right next to the door. But yeah, this game, like alone, it's like if you have issues with scary games and ghosts, solo, this game is kind of a super hard to play thing for me. I get scared really quick. But like playing with like Jason and Stuart, it's like, okay, all right, let's go in there, let's get this set up. Okay, all right, well, all right, I'm gonna go back to the van and check this. I'll come back with this, and like 9 times out of 10, you're going back in. You're like, don't start hunting as soon as I walk in. Don't start hunting when I walk in. And the same thing for coming out. It's like, don't wait and hunt until I'm out the door. Please don't close the door in my face. Because once that ghost is on the hunt, it can be bad.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to be scared when Jason's running around going, Karen Johnson, come out. Come on, Karen Johnson.
Yeah, the more you say the name of the ghost, the angrier it gets. It was his way of saying hard mode. Let's do this. But yeah, this game has been a very fun. We'll call it a trip, if anything.
It has definitely been an interesting experience the couple of times I've been in playing.
Especially in VR. This game has a VR mode.
Playing in non-VR mode with people who are playing in VR mode is really entertaining.
That too. But yeah, the VR mode on there, oh gosh, that was motion sickening. But yeah, Phasmophobia. That's my game of the year.
All right. Well, my game of the year goes to one we have already talked about.
No way.
Yes. And that is Destiny. No, it's not Destiny.
Oh,
Hold on, here, I'll fix that for you real quick.
yeah. Let's get that.
No, mine is Sea of Thieves. Destiny 2 Sea of Thieves.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been I bought an Xbox earlier. Yeah, it was in March of this year. And I hadn't owned one since like 2009. So it's been a really long time since I've owned an Xbox. And I bought the all digital edition of the Xbox One S, and it came with a copy of Sea of Thieves. And I was just like, I'm never going to play this game. So I put the code away and was just one day was looking for something to play. And I thought, okay, fine. I've got this code. I'll go ahead and redeem it. So that way I can say I own the game. And I turned it on, played it, and I've been playing it ever since. It has sucked up so much of my time. It's become that game that while, yes, there are very frustrating moments where you've spent an hour or an hour and a half or whatever doing a run, and then someone comes along and steals all your treasure. Or you have those moments where you get in the game 5 minutes later, someone sunk your boat, and you're like, okay, fine, I'm not playing Sea of Thieves today. But it's one of those games that I think we've just had a lot of fun playing together. It's good to get in, play a few minutes, and get out. Like, you can go in, do a quick treasure hunt, earn a little bit of gold, and be done. It's become that game for me where I want to play something, but I don't want to put a lot of effort into something. It's a very low effort, casual sort of experience a lot of times. Where it's just relaxing to get in, sail around for a while, pick up some treasure, or do some fishing. And if you have time, do one of the like high level, raid sort of missions with people. Like the time we got in, there were like 4 or 5 crews all working together, was so much fun.
I've
That's a
never
sort of
seen such a thing.
it's sort of a rare experience for it to happen, but when it does, it is incredible. You've got 15, 16, 20 people all working together to take down a dungeon, and then everybody nicely split the treasure amongst each other. Everybody's like, hey, can I take this? Can I take this? Sure. You can have that as long as I can have this thing. And it was really, really fun. So I have put probably more time into Sea of Thieves this year than any other game. So it would be
It is. It is a game that I've put more time into than I expected,
yeah. Oh, for sure.
and I've never experienced rage like that the game can give as well.
Oh, it definitely has those moments. Like, I've sent text messages to Ethan. It was like, I played last night. I got on. Within 30 seconds, someone was shooting me, and I was like, I don't want to play Sea of Thieves. But then, 2 days later, you turn it on, and you spend an hour and a half doing a 6 island treasure hunt, and you come back with so much stuff. And you're like, I had so much fun playing that game. So it is like, it's the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows.
It's one extreme or the other.
You knew that those guys were our friends when they killed me, and then they were talking to you like, "Oh no, they're new players. You're doing the first mission. You're good."
It's like, oh, we've only been playing for
Ashen
several
guy.
months.
Ashen guy, stop shooting us, or we're gonna keep killing you. No. Parrot guy, you're cool. Ashen guy, don't do it. You guys have this triumph? No. You got this medal? No. You need this achievement? Yes. Really? Let's do this. Have a good one.
Yeah, and you spend 5 minutes, trading things that you need for different achievements with a crew. You do a little bit of an impromptu concert, and you go your separate ways, and everybody's had fun.
Yep.
So, those are the types of crews you like to run into. It's the guys that get in and are just intent on ruining everybody on the server's day. Those are the guys you're like, okay, I'm not going to play this game right now. And
And sometimes the server decides it wants to ruin your day as well.
that too.
All right,
That
let's
too.
leave the island. Kraken attack.
So yeah, I've put way more time into that game than I thought I would, and I expect in the next year that I'll put quite a bit more time still into Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it would be my top game of 2020.
That's fair.
But there you go. That is it. It has been a long show. We have talked plenty of games. It should be fun. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let us know what your favorite games of 2020 were. We'd love to hear what you've been playing over the last 12 months. So thank you very much, Cole, for joining us this week.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And Ethan, thank you for being here as well.
And everyone have a happy new year.
Happy New Year. Yes.
Happy New Year.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.